All right, guys, let me start this thing for the third time. Had some interruptions, but anyway. So I'm gonna do this on work ethic. Monday morning, my Monday morning discussion be on work ethic. And that is something, to me, that is one of the cornerstones of this country. That's one of the cornerstones of this country, is having work ethic. Personal work ethic. If you don't have work ethic, you're not going to make anything out of yourself. I don't care what anybody says. You're not going to make anything out of yourself. And that means, coming to work, getting to work on time, doing a good job, not having to be told everything to do, that you got a profession you're in, you take ownership of it, and you do it. You take ownership of your profession. I don't care if you're cooking hamburgers at McDonald's. You take ownership of them hamburgers. You make the best hamburger, the best French fries. If you're waiting on people in the front taking an order, you be the best order taker. And like I've told people before, when you're doing that, people will notice. People will notice how you are. They'll notice how you go the extra mile. People will notice that, and they'll appreciate it. I told my stepson that if you do the right things, people are gonna notice you. Yeah, you may just be doing something that you don't think is very important, but they notice it. And you may be waiting on some guy that owns a company, and he comes in there every day and he says, "Man, this guy's dedicated. He makes the best hamburger in the world." So I'm gonna give him my business card. Maybe I can get him on my company because he's got good work ethic, a good attitude. He does a good job. So that might lead to other things, bigger things. So never think because you're the type job you're in is not important. Every job is important. Now, I didn't go to college. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to go to work. I wanted to make some money. And my parents wanted me to go to school, but I didn't want to go. So when I graduated from high school, I went to work and been working ever since. I went to work with a railroad contractor. Hard work, manual work, hard labor, but it builds character. It built character. Made me a better man. I learned work ethic from my parents when I was growing up. And my uncles and different people like that. My grandparents. But I also learned work ethic from the people I work with. Now, yeah, you have people that aren't going to come to work to do a job. They're going to try to milk everything. They're going to try to just barely get by. Work ethic, part of having work ethic is working hard. Go the extra mile. Whoever you're working for, I'm sorry I'm looking off. I'm just watching. You go the extra mile. You come to work, and you should have initiative where you don't have to be told everything to do. And that's something we should instill on our kids. My daddy always told me, he told me one time, as long as your big feet's up under my table, you're not gonna get it. You're gonna cut grass, you're gonna wash dishes, you're gonna rake pine straw, whatever, because you're eating my food, basically. So, and that's what he'd tell us. Because I made the mistake of asking for an allowance. I didn't get an allowance, but I got what I needed. So they taught me that. When I was 14, my mother came in there and she said, I got you a job, and I'm taking you this Saturday and Sunday for that job. Okay. So I worked every summer. And when I graduated high school, I started working, been working ever since. I worked for this company 41 years, including the contracting I've done for them. And so I learned a lot of good work ethic from the people I came up with, but I also learned what not to do from people, watching them, lazy people. And so I manage. I don't have any college. I just came to work and sweated. You know, that old saying, I got a lot of blood, sweat, and tears here. You know, volunteered to work, worked a lot of overtime. I rarely ever worked a 40-hour week. Worked a lot of overtime, you know, took initiative, you know, made sure I did the job right, worked the extra mile, went by the safety rules. Yeah, I wasn't perfect. None of us are. But we got the other guys that they've always got a game. They always got a way to get out of work. You know, they work harder getting out of work than they did working. But I came up with a generation that worked hard. Most of them. Some of them didn't. So, you know, I learned that. And we had an old saying here. Two of them. One of them was, get your butt to work. Get your butt to work. But they didn't say butt. They said the other word. And they tell you to leave your feelings out at the gate, outside of the gate. Leave your feelings outside of the gate. Because this was a hard profession. The power work is a hard profession. It's dangerous. It's demanding. It's physically demanding. And mentally demanding, because you're working 24 hours. Sometimes I've worked 36 hours on storms. You're on call. You know, you have to respond when lights are out. So you got heavy stuff, whatever. So it's real demanding. A lot of rules, a lot of safety rules to go by. So that's what you got to do. You got to do that. And so, you know, it's a good profession. But work ethic is a valuable thing in this country. But I see it as dying on the vine. Because we in my generation's probably one of the worst, to try to push your kids to go to college. You know, oh, you got to go to college, you need a degree, you got to have a college, you got to have a degree, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think that's the case to be successful. I'm proof of that. A lot of y'all are proof of that. I'm not knocking college, because both my daughters have college degrees and they're successful. But to me, women, it's better for women to get a college degree, because they don't have as many options. You don't see women doing electrical work. You don't see them doing power work in the field. You don't see women plumbers, truck. You see a few truck drivers every now and then, but it's still men that do the craft work, the hard work, the carpentry work, building homes, paving, whatever, you know, firemen, whatever. It's still men. But there's also a lot of jobs women do. But a lot of those jobs, you know, kind of demand some college. My daughters are successful. So like I said, they got a college degree. I don't have any. But I see it. I see people, you know, they like here. They come in late and they just kind of wander in, and, you know, they don't have their boots on. They got flip-flops or Crocs on, and it's like diddy and whistling down the graveyard and by the graveyard, whatever, you know, just whistling, you know, you know, and they go in there and they bring their breakfast in, you know, they done been here an hour and they ain't got nothing done, you know, they're not properly dressed, you know, you got to do what we do, you got to have your FR on with the shirts untucked or whatever, you know, I'm just making examples. I see it when I go to restaurants. I see it. You know, you get a waiter or waitress, you know, and they just kind of hee-haw around and they're not worried about you, you know. Then they want a tip, you know, they want a tip. But they hadn't worked for it, you know. That's work ethic. You work to get you a good tip. You know, I don't want, you know, and you go in the restaurant and the floor's dirty and the bathrooms are dirty and the tables hadn't been wiped. That's somebody's job. But to me, this younger generation, not everybody, but these 18, 19-year-olds, whatever the age, I guess they're Gen Zers or whatever, they just don't have the drive. If you want to do good in life and move up with a company or be successful in anything you do, you got to have drive. You got to have a drive. You got to have some goals. You got to have work ethic. Because succeeding in life at a job, it's more than 8 hours. It's more than an 8-hour day. When I was a supervisor, I would get here an hour early and plan my day out. And I'd be here. My guys would come in because they knew I was already here. And a lot of us were that way. So, you know, and the power industry is rough. It's a rough business. It's a hard business to be in. So, you know, you can fail or succeed. But work ethic is one of the foundations of this country. And I see it, like I said, dying on the vine. And I don't know who's responsible. I think a lot of things are. I think, you know, that life has gotten so easy with the younger generation now because they got phones and they can get an app, and you're not going to do work with an app. You know, you come to work. We got guys, they come to work and they want to look at the phones all day. They're doing a safety sensitive job, but they want to stare at a phone. You know, they want to be out on the job looking at the phone, constantly looking at them. You know, so it's become a problem. But that the younger generation didn't have to, and I'll say it, they didn't have to work as hard as my generation because we didn't have the stuff that they have. And a lot of them are college educated. They go in there and they just barely get by. To be successful in college, you got to work. You got to have work ethic. You got to study. You got to do your work. You know, a lot of people just want to get by, get that degree and get by. So anyway, that's the thing, you know, and I hope I didn't ruffle any feathers, but I will say work ethic is one of the foundations of this country. We need to teach our kids work ethic. If we don't teach these coming up generations, this country's dying on the vine anyways. That's one of our biggest problems now is work ethic. Nobody wants to do a good day's work or hard work or do what's right. Not nobody, but there's a lot of people that don't. Just like I hear there's a senator that wants to go to a 32-hour work week. Oh, that's just dad blame nonsense. That's nonsense. And you'll get paid for 32 hours. So people are going to make less money. That's nonsense. That is nonsense. And I'm not going to say the word, but there's a word for it. But so we've got to make sure that don't happen. So anyway, so what I'm carrying today, and I'll show you, I didn't pull it out of my pocket. So I'm carrying this Rosecraft knife. I am carrying my Benchmade bug out today with the RDS knife bead, RDS woodworking, an acrylic knife bead right there. Great, good looking knife bead. And I'm carrying, take a guess, and I do have 2 or 3 chestnut bones. But I got this one right here, so there we go. So anyway, and I got my Parker Jotter, and I got my normal stuff in my pocket. So y'all have a great day. I hope I didn't ruffle anybody's feathers, but work ethic's important, y'all. Have a great day, and God bless.